Very good evening to all of you. Welcome to today's CP meeting on Investor Awareness Program. We have with us Shri, Nagappan sir, who will take us through investing for wealth creation and tax planning. May I request sir to come and look over the As we are celebrating ICA's 75 years of independence, intelligence, excellence, let's honor its past, engage in its questions, and envision its future. My ICA, my pride. That is all raised for ICA number song as a mark of respect to our history.
Yaesha Sukteshu Jagrati Yaesha Sukteshu Jagrati Kamam 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 Usho Nirvimana Nirvimana Tadeva Shukram Tadeva Shukram Brahma Brahma Tadeva Mritamucchate Mritamucchate Tasmin Lokaha Tasmin Lokaha Sarve Taduna Tyadi Kaschana Tyadi Kaschana Etadvaita 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 Etadvaita.
Thank you. Please be seated. The speaker for today, Nagappan, is a renowned and a multifaceted personality. He is an investor, economic observer, economic advisor, commentator, columnist, author, learner, teacher, independent director, and a wealth doctor. He is also the founder of Oriental Stocks, a trustee of the Tamil Nadu Foundation, and the chief mentor to MSc FSL. He has also served as the immediate past president of the Hindustan Chamber of Commerce. Nagappan sir has an MBA in management from Annamalai University, and as his skills include leadership, financial advisory, banking, restructuring, and social media. Nagappan sir has been extensively contributing in educating our society on finance and investments. His books on investments are available at Amazon. Some of his bestsellers are Aram Porul Inbam, Commodity Ilum Kalakalam, and a mutual fund modulator. With this brief, I have a great pleasure in presenting before you Valiyappan Nagappan sir to take us through today's investor awareness program. Before I hand over the podium, I now request R. Mudavelan to come forward and present a memento and a hair implant to Nagappan sir as a token of our love and affection. Over to Nagappan sir.
Good evening all. It's always my pleasure to be here in the institute, and I always like it when the crowd is small. Smaller the better. We can interact better and we can learn a lot mutually. What can I come and teach you? It's a CA institute, and let me start the disclaimer that I am also going to learn from you. We discuss at any point of time you can interfere and you can ask me any questions related to markets or investments. If If I know, I will tell you the answer, otherwise I can always refer and get back to you later. And I have a PowerPoint presentation which will take you through, but I would prefer you asking me questions so that it can be more focused and more directed towards that than a generic presentation. Okay. The most part of it, whatever we are going to discuss today, I think I'm sure that at least 70 to 80% of it or 90% of it also no. There will be some nuances maybe missing. Yeah. When it comes to wealth creation is something really interesting. I never felt more talking about it or I'm doing what I like the last maybe 20 to 30 years, more than that. It's a very interesting journey, so I can share some part of it with you in a small crowd. I can discuss about that also. But I found out that there is no a comprehensive book written about wealth creation or how to go about it. But there are plenty of material available. Books are there, authors are there, they have written, and I think finally it all boils down to how good we are in implementing, how we are mentally balanced, how we are able to tackle our behavioral biases. Based on that, I think most of the wealth creation happens, and not by reading the annual report or reading. That's the starting point. But what makes it happen is the behavioral part of it. We should learn more about that part. I will talk about that along the journey. So we all know that we are in a very, very crucial juncture. Everything happens very fast. I remember, in my native place, we have to travel to the next small town or a village. That will be a day's journey. They will be planning the previous day. When I say the next village, it is nothing like from here to Alor or here to Araya. And we don't think twice to want to go now, but for this metro work which is going on. Otherwise, we don't hesitate. But life was very slow then. But today, the world is different and everything is very fast and everything changes very fast, and that's why you are all here. That's why I am here. So we are learning what is CP. CP is more about understanding whatever changes happening, whatever in the regulatory area, in market. So when you look at today, it is far different from what it was about 30 or 40 years back. What is the difference? 40 years back, it was very difficult to get a job. Today, I don't think any of our children find it difficult to get a job with a basic degree. Most of them are grabbed from the colleges and they are doing engineering. End of third year, they get a job. Before the fourth year starts, or the campus placement starts, they get a job. And most of them, it's not a 4-year course. Now engineering used to be a 5-year course. Some of you may remember it was a 5-year course. It became 4-year course. Today, for all practical purposes, you check with any reputed college, it's 3-year course. 4th year, no one learns anything. That they know that they've got a job somewhere halfway through, and then they don't study. So this is the first difference. We used to, find it very difficult to get a job. Today, it's easy to get a job. There is another difference. We used to get a job, but the moment we get a job, you can be reasonably sure that the company will not sack us. As long as we are reasonably honest and doing our job. We may not get an elevation, we may not get a bonus, or we may not get an incentive if we don't work properly. But otherwise, most of the companies, they don't sack you. They think twice, thrice, many times. They give you enough time even if they do. Whereas today it's not. Though they get a job very fast, but the challenge is that they will be sacked anytime. They don't know. They may not even know when they go for weekend outing. and suddenly Monday morning, today is work from home, nowadays. If they try to log in and if they are not able to log in, what is the communication? They are sacked. That's all. Company doesn't call and tell you. Then you have to call the HR or you call the boss. He said contact HR. HR will tell you. These are the things which will come to your account in 10-15 days time. That's all. I don't know how many of children have gone through this, but I personally experienced this a couple of months back. I was traveling with my son and he was working for, he's still working for Meta. He was working for Meta and we were in Malacca. And Friday evening, he was trying to log in after we came back from our trip. Came back to the room, we tried logging, he was not able to log in. First he thought there is some issue. Saturday he was not able to log in. Then he called his immediate superior in Ireland or somewhere. He said, are you not aware of, no, they told me. No, I think your team is 3 people and all the 3 have been sent back home. He said that if you send all the 3, you cannot survive. You need 1 at least. So he said, I don't know, most probably that 1 is likely to be you, but we will know only on Monday. Monday mid-noon, then he got a call. They said that they have reinstated only him out of the 3 team. This is how things were. 2 days is gone for him. He was on holiday and he could not sleep peacefully. So this is the first major problem for the current generation, which probably some of them realize now, but many of them are still not realizing because the way they spend money, the way they buy things. Looks like that they think that this income is going to come to them forever. I was drawing maybe I was a management training, my first salary in 86 was about 2,800 rupees. It was not a bad money, a bad sum, but it was okay. But I was finding it, I was able to manage. But today people get more than, maybe some of them get 30 times, 40 times of that they join the job. Or at least at a basic level they get 5 times or 6 times of that. And they find it, still they are not able to meet. But, so why they are not able to meet their expenses? So one part we saw is the job was certain for us, job is uncertain. Why is it uncertain? Because technology changes very fast. When technology changes very fast, the company wants you to learn fast and come back and do the work. If you are not able to do, they sack you. The other thing is that when the technology improves faster, like artificial intelligence, instead of 100 people, they need 50 people or 10 people. I don't need people for coding instead of. So this is second thing. So the technology, while it creates a job on one side also, but it is little elevated level, but so this is the second problem. They have to keep on running on them. See, after completing my degree, I never went back, of course, because of my profession as a stockbroker, and I have to keep writing all these exams until 3 years, the NISM certificate courses on derivatives or all. But otherwise, there is no need for me to go. But today they have to keep on updating themselves. We all started with language for Pascal, COBOL, and BASIC. Today, wherever language is not there. So, it changes very fast. Job uncertainty is the second problem. The third problem is every course costs them quite a lot. It's not that they have completed the studies, they need not spend money. No, they have to keep on spending more and more money on education, educating themselves, updating themselves. These are all needs and there are wants, which is the new needs which are created in the recent past, which were we never had certain expenses about 30 or 40 years back. Today we have all those expenses. I have only one phone at home. Until I got that phone, the only one phone was their neighbor's phone. You have to go and make a call. Today we have, every one of us have 2 phones in a house of 4 people. We have 8 phones, 8 connections. So you have to recharge, you have to pay. Right from that, charging the phone in electricity, and you are buying a car, you are buying a 2-wheeler, you are buying a petrol expense. So these are new expenses which were not there 40 years back for typical middle class. So this is another problem, the change in lifestyle. And the change of lifestyle today is taken for granted. It's nothing new. It's buying the car is not a big achievement today. Maybe the first day you post a photo in Insta or something, otherwise nothing much, but it was a celebration for my generation in the 80s or 90s when I buy a car. It's a very big celebration, a big achievement. So this is an aspirational society. This society is different from my generation. Okay. So this generation is very confident. The positive side of it, they are very confident. because many of them know that the job may not be continuing forever, they know that this income may not come forever, but still they are spending it. That's one side of it, the positive side of it. They are very positive that they are confident that they can get another job somewhere else at a better way or the same way or little bit. We were not probably that confident to do that. So, the requirement, the new needs have gone. That's one thing which we should keep in mind. One is the lifestyle change. The second one is there are various other requirements like post-COVID, hand sanitizer or mask, or off late last 10-15 years, buying water has become a must. You will never buy water 30 years back or 20 years back. You will never buy water. But today we buy water. We see this everywhere. So these are all new expenditures which has come. Now, why I am telling all these things is that the wealth creation is becoming more and more important today, more relevant today because of all these reasons, and the last main reason being the failure of or the lack of family support system, the lack of joint family. You hardly come across joint families these days. People living with the grandparents, parents, and children, grandchildren. We don't find many these days. And what happens is that because of this, the lack of family support system, you have to stand on your own leg. There are not many people to support you, and the strained relationships causes you are alone. So you have to fend for yourself. So when you look at all these things, this makes the wealth creation and financial planning very, very important, at least for the current generation. I mean, those below 40, 45. I think it is very, very important that they have to, I would say that below 30, but then it applies to all of us also. Because longevity, somebody in 40 would have thought 60 is those days 60 is a very, 60 actually, becoming 60 is a big thing. Today, 18, 19, we see people. So we may, somebody in 55 or 60, we may look for another 30 possibilities. So it's important for us also. So these kind of emerging new needs, lack of social support, and inflation, and which is reducing the purchasing power, and the higher and higher attitude of the companies, which results in sudden withdrawal symptoms for the boys and girls, which they are not able to handle it because of lack of family support system or the way they were brought up. Instant gratification. They want something, it is bought, it is given. Okay. So they are not used to failure, they are not used to an answer called no, at least most of them. I'm talking about the typical middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class. Now anything above below is different case. So see, this makes it very important. Two things are important. One has to speed up the wealth creation journey and ensure that they retire early or they achieve the financial freedom as early as possible, so that they are free from the worry to get another job, the worry to generate income. So this is becoming very, very important, more now than earlier. Now these are the things which we discussed. Yeah. So the positive side of it is that more demand is in the market, which leads to more production, more sales, and more job opportunities, and the companies making profits. This is a positive side of such an aspirational society, which uses all these facilities. And what we find now is guilt-free spending. We all used to spend, sometimes overspend also, some of us. But then, we call it buyer's remorse. Come back home. The joy of buying, then after that we regret many times. We did not have spent this money, right? So, I mean, when you go back home and look at the 30, 40 shirts, what we have sometimes, the time of buying, we thought that we'll be wearing it, but then at least for 50% of it, we may not be wearing it at all. Since we don't want to throw it away, we keep it. So, but today, no guilt. Somebody goes and buy a person working in a chartered accountant's office. His boy is drawing somewhere around 20,000 rupees. It's a some staff, but a little better level. Getting only 20,000 rupees, which is very good for that level of staff from an auditor's office. One day he came to me and he said, "Sir, I bought this bike. I thought it must be 1 lakh. It was a bullet, and the bullet, I think Royal Enfield must be at least 2.8 lakhs or something. He said somewhere around that level, he said. And he said, this is my only aim in my life to buy this, so I bought it. And he is paying EMI. So, this is what is happening. No guilt or no remorse. And yeah, the reason is more earnings and rise of double income families. This is a very major change which is happening in India in the last 10 or 15 years. It was there even in the 80s and 90s, but to a limited level, but now it is happening in a very fast pace. Double income earning families, the husband and wife go to job, they earn money, both of them are in business or in practice, and which is leading to more spending and more discretionary spending, more consumption. It's partly it is resulting in buying a house. If 30 years back, if the major part of the income goes to buying a house, all of us are used to taking a loan from HDFC and then buying a house. Today, most part of it goes for spending. It goes to PVR Inox, it goes to probably Swiggy, it goes to Zomato. Most part of it goes there. Okay, so the worrisome part is that it's not creating any wealth. The positive side is that it is creating more business for the economy. So this is going to keep on improving. There are a lot of data points which are available, which says that the both people learning, leading to betterment of the economy and the more disposable income. So that leads us to the very important point, wealth creation starts with budgeting, and which most of us do in our own mind. We don't do return down budget for household expenses. Some people do, but not many of us do. But then, if you do that, you will be very surprised and a lot of interesting facts will come out and where we spend, where we unnecessarily spend all this. So, and this is not a fixed formula, 50, 30, 20 and all, but it's a very popular formula. 50% is your essentials like home rent, house rent and all, which you cannot avoid at all. And 30% is for the rest of the other things which are your needs and or discretionary spending. 20% is your savings. This 30%, where you can make a difference is that 30%. 50% you cannot do anything. 20% is a must for your future. So 30% you can, if you reduce it to 25%, this 20 can go, savings can go to 25%. So one should know how to differentiate between needs and wants. And as I said, it's a very, very qualitative issue. I can't simply say that this is a need, this is a want. It depends upon the person's mindset, the family circumstances, and various other things. But we should use our better judgment and find out what is our need and what is our want. And the need you cannot avoid, but want you can always avoid. But the social media, the marketing, the efforts made by all these big biggies makes us feel the wants are also our needs. Today, you look at one example I will give you. Check with your children or check with somebody younger or even of my age or our age, I can tell you. Well, the one thing what Apple has done is they have completely, occupied the mind of the people to an extent that it is either Apple or death. They cannot live without Apple. You tell them that you have to buy an Android phone, you have to buy a Windows system and use it, and you have to buy any other watch. It's practically not. The people who have fallen in love with Apple, for them either it is Apple or nothing. You cannot go out of it. So that's the kind of, and you can always find the fight between me, my sons and my wife, because she is an Apple fan, and all three of us we are Android. We always say that Apple is very restrictive, very monopolistic and all these things, but we are very comfortable using Android. But she says its ease of use is there in Apple and all. In fact, we used to bully saying that, any one of us using Apple, don't take it as an offense, but Apple is so simple that even an idiot can use it. Android probably may be a little complicated. This is one perception. Okay, but the design wise Apple is no doubt it is good. But they are not very inclusive. Many apps you cannot operate there because of the security reason is what they claim. But there could be other reasons. But that's a different debate. But the people who have used Apple, they think that they cannot live without it. And what it means is that somebody at the age of 18 or 20 gets used to Apple, which he has to change every 3 years, ideally 5 years. But if you don't change in 5 years, then automatically change because no upgrade is available for the software. I was using, my wife was about to throw iPhone 6 several years back, iPhone 6, which is a lovely design. I don't know if you have seen iPhone 6, a very slim one. You won't even realize you were keeping it in your pocket. I said I'll take it for my second phone because ICICI Bank doesn't allow you to have same number being used for 2 different accounts. I don't know why. So I took it and then I put a SIM card for only to access that account. Now after several years I am not able to use that phone because it says that it is iOS 13 or something or 14 is required and that phone cannot take that software. And because of which I am not able to use, I am not able to access my account in ICICI. So this won't happen in most of the Androids. This won't happen in Androids at all. You will keep getting the upgrades and all. So justifying all expenditure is something which is now made. We all learn to justify every expenditure that it is essential, and without realizing that that is going to cause us not only that expenditure, but then subsequently expenses on expenses on expenses. For example, if I am buying, instead of postponing my purchase of a phone by another 2 years, I am using it for 3 years and I buy it in 3 years. If I am going to live for 60 years or another 30 years, if I am going to live, I am going to change it 10 times. If I am going to change it once in 5 years, I am going to change it only 6 times. I am saving on 4 times. And if the phone is for 50,000 rupees on an average, I don't think most of this is 10,000 to 50,000, but let's say about 50,000 rupees phone, it will not be 70, 80, 1 lakh, but average 50,000. I am saving straight away 2 lakhs on my phone itself. Think about my laptop, think about my other expenditures. So, if these kind of the frugal or smaller things can change a lot in wealth. The moment I buy that, what happens is I won't buy an Apple. Most of the phones, any phone for that matter, high-end phones, like that phone what I had. The phone will be about 60,000, 70,000 or 80,000. Then the cover what you buy is about 4,000 or 5,000. Then you have to, they'll say front on glass shield, whatever it is, the protector, that will be about 1,000 rupees. Then you say there is an insurance available for it, about 700 or 800 rupees. So we think that it is only 60,000, but finally we will be paying about 80 or 90,000 rupees and will be better. So this is the second dangerous thing. The third dangerous thing is that, when we buy things, we have to pay AMC, we have to maintain it, there is a running cost. You cannot avoid with phone. But there are certain other things which you can avoid. So there you have to look at and evaluate. If you really want to build wealth and if you want to build wealth fast, there are 2 ways of creating wealth. One is by spending less and earning more and saving more. 2. The other way is that you can earn less, you can spend less, you can be contented and be happy also. Both are right. There is nothing called this is right, that is wrong, or that is right, this is wrong. But you have your ambitions are here, my ambitions are here, I want to buy this, but my skill sets are here, I am not willing to work up to that level, then there the problem comes. So, if you want to create wealth, you have to do certain things. If you are happy with whatever you have already, and you are sure that, reasonably sure that next 30, 40, 50 years you can manage with it, there is not necessary to worry too much about these things. But a lot of uncertainties are there, you have to remember that. Next is, there are symbolically they do certain things in countries like Canada, buy nothing. They say that today I am not going to buy anything, particularly on Black Friday or whatever, the Thanksgiving Day. Those special days where people go and buy, they don't buy anything, they just take a trolley from the store front and then leave it in the end, they destroy the credit card. So they do so many things symbolically, but that's only a reminder. And somebody in Chennai, compared to many other places, I can tell you that there are many ways to enjoy life. And before retirement, we have to find out that ways of enjoying life and be happy with less expenditure. It could be probably like going to USIS library or Anna Secondary Library, or being part of Madras Book Club, or there are movie clubs out there, which are not very expensive, but you can enjoy. The December season is there. So lot of things. Not necessary that you should always become a member of presidency club to enjoy life, right? And this is which I always say is missing today because of buy now, pay later. So this BNPL concept has come now, which is very popular, and companies are trying to make advantage of it. Refi, REFI, right? That's the name of the company in Malaysia. I think there are some companies in India also. What they do is that they pay your salary. They are not the company. You will be working for a company, but they enter into a tripartite agreement with the company, you and them. And the refi will pay you every Saturday. They will credit your account with your salary. If your salary is 40,000 rupees a month, so every Saturday you will get 10,000 rupees, but it will not be 10,000 rupees. They will deduct some 300 rupees or 200 rupees from your account, 9,800. The company will pay him another 100 rupees or something. They make money. I get my money within a week. Every week I keep getting it. Now you ask that what is the difference between this and using a credit card, but there is a market for this. It is the company, the refi is there. It's a refinance, short form of refinance. Refi is there. So buy now pay later concept is taking off in a very big way because people are not able to postpone their needs. This is my target. I will save for this, and when I am saving, it also earns interest, and then buy. This is one way of looking at it. No, I will buy now, and I will pay for it along with interest. I pay interest also instead of getting interest. So see the difference between these two systems. When I am saving, I am getting more money, and I will be able to buy a better product. Whereas the moment I buy something today and start paying, apart from my payment, I also pay interest cost on it. So my wealth gets destroyed. So these are things, smaller things which the typical middle class don't look at it. I remember a popular saying which my father used to tell me that like those who know how to calculate compound interest earns it. Those who don't know, pay it. So that is So it's like I said, it is a psychological warfare. So how if you've seen that Marshmallow experiment video on the net, there are a couple of videos available. You can see that the children. So we all know that income minus expenditure is savings, and we know now repeatedly again and again all of us we say this income minus savings is expenses. But we may have to add one more thing, income minus insurance minus savings is expenditure. So that's what we should look at now, because insurance comes first. Before you plan your investment, before wealth creation, plan for your wealth creation, you should ensure that whatever you create is not destroyed out of unexpected things. A lot of unexpected things can happen in your life, and that should not take away your hard-earned money or whatever investment you have done. So how do you ensure that that is not taken away? You have a plan to make 10 crores and you are on the track, you already made 2 crores. Suddenly something happens and 2 crores is gone. So how do you ensure that? So before that, first of all, anything you do, anything, insurance is a must for everyone, each and every one of us. Insurance is a must. And as I say, I always say that India is a nation full of peculiar people, and we are probably one of the very few countries, or the only country who don't take insurance for the purpose of insurance. We take insurance. Why do we take insurance? ATC. So I don't want to pay any tax to the government of India. Or my auditor told me that his brother-in-law is insurance agent. Right? So I have to take. It's an obligation because I sold Tupperware. So the other part is that either tax saving or as an investment or as an obligation. These are the 3 reasons why Indians take insurance. Maybe the younger generation is different, they are smarter. They are different. But I remember most of my generation, the moment they first get a job, first thing they will go to LIC, they will take insurance. What is the coverage? 50,000 rupees. 50,000 rupees coverage, in which way it is going to help us? 50,000 or you ask them, they will say that I can pay premium only for that amount. Because I can pay premium only for that amount, I am taking that coverage, which is not correct. There are better policies today which take low premium, but if you have high coverage, so one should look at that and go for it. And as I said, we are a peculiar people, we are the only people probably who ask for return from insurance. What will be returned? The returns will come only if I die. Otherwise, I won't get any return in insurance, right? So that we should keep in mind. We should not, which is a good insurance policy, which takes money from you and does not return anything until anything dangerous happens. That's a good policy. If the insurance agent comes and tells you that you invest in this, but you will get some money, or if he uses the word even invest, send him out of the house. Don't talk to him. That's a bad insurance. So, but insurance is essential. What are the insurance needed? Two insurance basically. One is term insurance, which is low premium and high coverage. 25 to 30,000 rupees a year, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees a month. But you get a coverage of 1 crore. Depending upon your age, it could be even lower. Right? So how much to insure? And I have hardly come across anybody above 40 covering themselves for about 1 crore. Very few people. Most of them, if you ask them, they'll have 10 policies or 5 policies, and they should be 5 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 8 lakhs, and all put together will be 30 lakhs or something. But you ask the youngsters today, below 30, many of them have covered for about 1 crore. They know the risk involved in it because, and they are covering adequately. But why 1 crore or 2 crore? Why such large? It all depends upon where I am today, how much I need to achieve my financial freedom, or in case if I am not there, how much money is needed for my family to replace my income. So, and what kind of corpus is needed to generate this income. So, if, based on that, you have to arrive. So, that calculation is simple. You can have 20x to 30x of your annual expenditure approximately, depending upon whether you already own a house and without any loan, then probably 20x or 22x or 24x is enough. How do you calculate? Why 30x of corpus? So let's assume that this is a simple formula, which is it's not a perfect formula, but it's an approximation. You can adopt this and calculate it. I will take you to the next slide where I can give you an example. Okay. So, but basically you have to calculate what is your annual expenditure, adjust it for inflation, and add expenditure towards new needs like buying water or buying air or whatever it is. I think if you have your relatives in Bombay or Delhi, you know that they have this machine in the home, in every room, which purifies the air, right? So if you have 3-bedroom in Delhi or Bombay, then the 3 machines are there, which are purifying the air constantly. And it is a must. It's very difficult to survive in major part of Bombay and Delhi without that machine. So that cost is there, new needs. Then you have to add, reduce, adjust it for income tax, and then also you should adjust it for reduced rate of returns in the future. In 90s, the banks used to pay 12% interest, right? 12% interest. I don't know how many of you remember. And it went up to 14%. Banks used to pay 14% interest, and it came down to 5.5% or 5% in 2007. And again, a couple of years back, in 2021 or something, it was again, State Bank was paying only 5.5%, or more than that. So you have to provide for reduced rate of interest. Never, we should not calculate at 8% or 9% or something. So with these things, if you do this, just for an example, your monthly expenditure is 50,000 rupees. Per annum, it is 6 lakhs. That's the amount you need. And adjusting it for 5% average inflation in the next 2 years, the income needed probably would be 7.5 lakhs per annum. It could be 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs, it will vary, but approximately, let's say 7.5 lakhs. And you adjust it for new needs, add a few thousands, 5,000 per month. Maybe you may need about 8 lakhs per annum. And adjust it for income tax, you may need about 9 lakhs because you may have to pay 20% tax depending upon your regime or what regime. So 9 lakhs per annum is the income needed. If you want, right now if your expenditure is 6 lakhs. So a 10% return per annum, the corpus needed to generate 9 lakhs per annum is 90 lakhs. But nobody gives you 10% today. It is safer to assume probably 5%. At 5% return, the corpus needed to generate 9 lakhs will be 1 crore 80 lakhs. So this is what I said that now for 6 lakhs per annum expenditure, 30x approximately about 1.5 crores needed. which means you deposit 1.8 crores in the bank, it will generate at 5% about 9 lakhs per annum, you pay 1 lakh tax, balance 8 lakhs will be there, adjusted for inflation will be to do it. This is, as I said, it's not a perfect calculation. You have to do a proper Excel sheet based calculation based on the calculator is available on the net. SEBI's website is there. There are various other people also. You can, using that, you can calculate. So now that we know that the corpus what is needed, to that extent you have to cover your interest. Suppose you need 1.8 crores and you have only about 70 lakhs or 80 lakhs on hand right now. The coverage needed is 1 crore. Suppose if you already have 1 crore in your bank account, the coverage needed is only 80 lakhs. It need not be always 1.8 crores. Okay. What is the gap you are covering? As you grow old and as you accumulate more wealth, at one stage you may not need an insurance at all, probably except healthcare insurance. Right? That alone just to cover the uncertainty. So when most of us don't do that, because when we do this calculation, we are scared. You talk to your clients or investors, and you tell them to do this. Many people either they don't know how to do it, but if they do it, they'll be scared that it's such a big thing. And so they don't do it. But it is good to be scared, because the moment you realize, then you will stop justifying all the unnecessary expenditures. That's the byproduct of getting scammed. If you get scammed, you will stop justifying all those unnecessary expenditures, and you will be very careful with every paisa you spend, and you will see to that you create more assets than creating more liability. The problem with most of the middle class today is that they create more liabilities at a very young age than creating assets. They think that they are creating assets, but they are actually creating more and more liabilities. How they create, we will see that later. So what is the gap? I need 1.8 crores, I have 1 crore, what is the gap and how to get there and how soon I should get there. And in this there are 4 metrics which are required. If you have 3 metrics on hand, the 4th will come automatically. What are the 4? What is my target amount? 1.8 crores. How soon I want to achieve it? 10 years from now. Then what is the rate of return I am expecting? 5%. Now how much I should save? It will tell you. The calculator will tell you. But if you have the other 3 metrics, the 4th one will be available. So with these 4 you can calculate this and that's it. Now this is what I said, again theory. Accumulate more assets and not liabilities, and most of you ask your clients what are the assets list, ask them to list out their assets. House will be there, then automatically they will also list out car as an asset. But we all know car is not there. Car is an asset for a company, car is an asset for Ola. Ola also don't have car. So if you are a lorry owner, if you are in the transportation sector, lorry is an asset. But for me, car is not an asset. The day I buy, how do I define asset and liability? Very simple. The day you buy it, it results from the date it results in positive cash flow or it generates income, then it is an asset. From the day I buy it results in negative cash flow or expenditure, then it is a liability. More I accumulate liability, then I will not be able to create wealth faster. More I accumulate asset, then my wealth creation journey becomes faster. That is what, if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, the cash flow quadrant, what he says is almost similar to this, slightly small variation there, but whatever you buy, if I am buying a house, it results in positive cash flow. If I am putting a fixed deposit, it results in a positive cash flow. If I am putting my money into gold, probably there is no positive cash flow, but over a longer period of time, the possibility is there in a different form. But the moment I buy a two-wheeler, it is going to be a negative cash flow. I buy a television like this, it is going to be a negative cash flow because it is going to depreciate in value. I cannot sell it the next day also with any value. No value addition is there. So I should be very careful. I should see to that this is completely fails, it doesn't work in 10 years, 15 years, I should see that, then only change the television. Just because one particular small change is done, fire, whatever it is, this can be done, then I won't change. If you really notice it, I don't know how many of you have come across it. It has happened to me and I have seen it many people. The eagerness with which we go and buy a new gadget, let it be television or let it be phone or something, doesn't last more than a few months. And after maybe about a year or year and a half, our mind will slowly start looking out for reasons to dispose it off and buy something new. Am I right or wrong? We'll say that the phone has become slow now. The system is not working, it's not as fast as it used to be. And so I need more RAM. So this is what we do. But that we have to realize that The another thing is that borrow profitably. How do we borrow profitably? I have never bought a car or for that matter, so never bought a car on loan. So always have a target, I put an SIP or accumulate something and then go and buy. Because the day you buy, it's going to depreciate in value, you are going to spend money on petrol, you are going to spend money on maintenance. And in addition, you are going to also pay interest. I think it's not worth. Meanwhile, I accumulated and buy, it's always better. So the the borrow profitably is very important. Borrowing for a house is not a problem. You're going to pay 7% or 8% or 9% interest. Invariably after 10, 15 years, that appreciation will be more than that. At least in a country like India. And at least for the next 30, 40 years. Okay. But you cannot say the same thing with any other. So borrow profitably is important, otherwise don't borrow. Okay. That's another way of, it will slow down your wealth creation process. And if you don't do that, you will be earning more money. Okay, now we come to the investment options. So there are basically 3 types of investments with or without tax benefits. So which means that actually 3 into 2, 6 different types. So the first one is fixed return, not necessarily assured return or guaranteed return. If a bank gives a return of 6%, it is a fixed return, but we cannot assume that it is an assured return or a guaranteed return. As of now, it doesn't make any big difference, but going forward, as government slowly tells us that you are on your own, then that makes very important difference that we have to be very careful. Then variable returns on capital appreciation, where there is no fixed return, but the returns will be variable. Then both. There are certain asset classes which is called. For example, fixed return, the fixed deposit what we put in post office on. It doesn't appreciate, it doesn't create wealth, but it gives stability. It gives stability, it gives mental peace. You cannot buy mental peace with the money, but it certainly gives you a comfort level that my money is safe and I am also getting some return on it. It may or may not match the inflation, but it gives me a lot of peace. The second one is variable return or capital appreciation is, for example, like gold. It appreciates over a longer period of time. Short term, it comes down also, it goes up also. We will see the chart later. That happens. Or probably real estate, when you buy a land, it appreciates over a period of time. You don't know, you're not very sure about what kind of return it will give. But you know that it will appreciate in a country like India over a longer period of time. The third one is both. For example, you buy a house. The value of the house appreciates and you also generate a rental income. It gives you both. You are investing in equity. It appreciates, it also depreciates. It appreciates, it also gives you some return by way of dividend or whatever it is. So these are some of the assets. And in this, with or without tax benefit, for example, equity is with tax benefit. You know that 1 lakh, up to 1 lakh long-term capital gain is exempted, anything more than 1 lakh is 10%. And in short-term capital gain is at 15%. So these are the 3 tax benefits available. The 4th tax benefit is set off and carry forward. So these are various benefits available. So that is one thing. Whereas in gold, it is not very tax efficient. Unless otherwise it is a sovereign gold bond which you buy at the IPO level and then keep it for 8 years. You will get approximately 20% returns. It is reasonably assured because 2.5% per annum they are going to give you. 8 years it is 20%. Even if gold price comes down by 20%, this will compensate you. And it's very safe because it is issued by Government of India through RBI. And on the 8th year, when you take your money back, whatever be the price, it is completely tax free. I invested in sovereign gold bond, the first issue, very first issue, 2,500 rupees or something around that level. And now they are going to return it back. I think this price must be 7,000 rupees. So it has almost tripled and no tax, income tax at all on it. Within 8 years. Your money, it's not guaranteed, it's not assured, but it has happened to me in this particular case. As an experimental basis, I bought a small quantity at that point of time just to understand the product. After that, I have never invested in sovereign gold bond. But it is a good product for a typical middle class who want to invest in gold, thinking gold as an investment. That will be a better option than putting your money into the physical gold, or the physical gold has got its own drawbacks as an investment. Physical gold has got an advantage as it's appealing, the beauty or you like it, and that's a different thing. That's for consumption, okay, not for wealth creation. So fixed deposits, only problem is that if you're going to put your entire savings, all your savings into fixed deposit alone, there is a challenge. The danger of outliving our savings is always there. The entire money will be spent, but we will still be living. We may not have money because the inflation is anywhere between 5 to 8% or 5 to 7%. The return is also somewhere between 6 to 7%. Both of them will have tough fight. So ultimately, sometimes we will be overdrawing from the capital, and as the capital comes down, you know, the second 100 rupees become 90 rupees, 80 rupees, 70 rupees. That also gets eroded. So you have to be very careful with fixed deposit, while it gives us mental peace and comfort and assured return, not assured return, fixed return, but we have to be careful with it by not putting our entire money into that if you want to create wealth. But that is an essential part of your savings, you should not forget that. So these are some of the asset classes which we discussed, not very serious, it doesn't cover everything. Sovereign gold bond is there separately, which we will later. But when I said tax benefit and liquidity and all, liquidity is very good when it comes to equity. I may be biased, you know, this time around I may be biased towards equity because I was born and brought up with equity. So I am more biased probably, but then it's a fact, I am not twisting the fact. On May end 2020, March end, which was the most liquid asset? April 1st, 2020. If you wanted money, you had all the three assets. You had gold, you had real estate, you had stocks and mutual fund. Which was the most liquid asset? You could not have sold, sir. All the shops were closed. All the gold shops were closed months together. Register office was closed months together. The stocks was the only one. The day you sold, next day you got your money. Okay, T+1 has come by then. I think maybe 2 days.
Now only, last year only.
No, now it is T+0. 100 stocks.
Only for the 25 stocks.
Yeah. So T+2. So you sold on Monday, you got your money on Wednesday. So the most liquid. Of course, the market has fallen by then. You know that 10 days market has crashed. But that's a different thing. But you wanted money, the money was there at your disposal. So liquidity wise, it is very good. The impact cost is very less. Tax wise, it is very good. The problem is volatility. Extreme volatility. And if you know how to handle that volatility, then nothing else could beat the markets. So that learning is required before entering into the market. If you are not able to handle the volatility mentally, it's a mind game. If you are not able to take it, if your mind is unsettled during the ups and downs, you should never get stuck. Because every day, take for yesterday, we saw a young boy committed suicide on your trade. 1 month back, a couple, middle-aged couple committed suicide in Mother, online trade. When they say they are, most of them trade in derivatives. Okay. I don't think anybody dies because of buying stocks in cash market. Most of them trade in derivatives and then over-leverage themselves and they borrow, and then they lose. So the other side is, we have to be very careful with that part, how much of money we allocate to that trading. For example, I have my friend's father who used to go to race those days, long time, not now, and he'll take 100 rupees in his pocket. He'll bet on every horse every day. The moment 100 rupees is lost, he'll come back. So stop loss. 100 rupees is the entertainment cost. Like going to Satyam Theatre. You don't know problem, but it doesn't happen that way. The moment you lose money in the market, what happens is that you feel that your intelligence is questioned. I did all my research, I am a professional, and I learned everything, I studied everything, and then I did this investment, it has gone wrong. Maybe this is one of a kind that I will put more money, I will be able to earn. And I want to prove myself to my wife or somebody, my friend, that I will earn money from this market. So we try to borrow, that is where the problem is. So there should be a stop loss if you are entering in capital market, otherwise don't look at it. Then fixed deposit, we spoke about it, gold we spoke about it, real estate also we spoke about it. Most of the middle class buy gold and real estate, right? So that's the two asset classes which there are two advantages. These are the two asset classes which they think that they understand. Okay, they are psyched to believe that they understand. Whereas I think 80% of them don't understand these concepts. Like they understand stock market. But they think that they don't understand stock market. That's a peculiar, very, very contradictory statement I'm making here, I know that. But if you really apply your mind, you know that. How many of them know that whether this is a 22 karat gold or 24 karat gold or 18 karat gold? 90% know. They simply go that the cattle enjoy because they give to or care they give. As long as the shops are there, it's okay. Because the day where you don't want to go and give it, they will refuse to buy. Am I right? 90% they refuse to buy. They say that we don't need gold, you can exchange it. Very few people buy. I don't know why they don't buy back. They sell it, but they don't buy back. Most of them, 90%. They ask you to exchange it for something. They will be very happy. Here 15%, 10%, there another 10%, 15%. 3 times you change gold in your life, 100% off. So, this is one thing. The second thing with the gold, I mean, the advantage with gold is that traditionally it was liquid. People used to trust gold and give loans. So, they were able to get cash. The second thing is it's a pride, it's a matter of, that I have. Now this is vanishing, this is slowly going. Lot of other asset classes which are replacing this in terms of liquidity, in terms of return, and in terms of the false prestige or whatever it is. I think this generation, younger generation, or these bother about whether it is gold or not. They are more, they buy more of this, whatever the dark color silver, what they call it, I don't know, silver or other things they buy and they use it. So they are not very much worried about it. But the earlier generation, it was helpful to them. Mainly not building wealth, but not losing wealth. Let's assume that if LIC is not there, if gold is not there, if they have not invested in real estate, what would have happened? Either they would have put all their money in fixed deposit, which would not have appreciated the way land has appreciated, or which would not have appreciated the way even the gold has appreciated. Okay, many times. Or they would have lost their money in some chit fund or unrelated product. Thankfully, the gold was there, real estate was there, so the middle class remained middle class. And the middle class remains middle class because of that only. The moment they invest a little bit more into other asset classes, they can become a little more. They didn't realize it. The people who have realized it, they don't invest, they decide not to invest in gold or real estate at all. The younger generation, whenever I interact with them, post 2019, I see this trend, post COVID, most of them don't want to buy houses, don't want to invest in real estate. And they don't buy gold, and they put all their money into mutual funds or Zerodha, video game, they trade, which is a very dangerous trend, which is good in a way in the interest of the nation if it is for long-term investment, in capital creation, wealth creation, capital formation, it helps the companies. But then, if it is done for day trading, just because they charge only 20 rupees for a contract, buy like video game, they buy in the morning, sell in the evening. They say that I made 3,500 rupees in bank nifty today. So that is very dangerous. So, but each asset class has got, the point I am trying to make here is each asset class has got its own advantages and drawbacks. Second thing is each asset class has got its own cycle, market cycle. Gold had a cycle, I have a slide explaining this. Gold was possible, bearish between 1980 to 1999 or 2000. Gold became very good. In 20 years it was bearish. And we never realized it because the dollar appreciated and that was reflecting in gold price in India. So we never realized it. But in dollar terms, gold price came down from $800 per ounce in 1982 to $285 in 2001. It came down by more than 60% or 70% in 20 years. It never went up. From 2003 to 2012, in spite of market crashing in 2008, the gold continuously went up for that 10 years. 2002 or 3 to 2011 or 12, gold price went up. That's because sovereign, the gold ETFs were launched, SPDL, they launched globally, first in 2001 or 2, then in India also we launched in 2003 or 4. So, that gold mutual fund or ETF launch was backed up by actual physical gold. And the more demand for gold came through the younger generation who believed in gold through this investment, that physical gold. So that's something happened. But stock market fell in 2008, crashed by 60% or 64%. But gold price went up that year. In 2012 to 2016, gold price crashed. 20% it came down. Whereas market went up in 2014-15. 2016, market crashed. Gold price was also low. But 2020 or 18, 19, 2019, market went up. Gold price didn't go up. Gold price started going up in 2020, market crashed. So there is a inverse correlation, except certain period where there is a positive correlation. Similarly, I can tell you about real estate. Last 10 years, real estate has not gone up at all. Look at RBI index, housing index. It tells you very clearly, it won't represent down actually between 2013 and 2019 already. So these are examples why you should be invested in all other asset classes, so that you take advantage of one asset class which goes up, book a profit, take the money out and put it in another asset class which is lying low, which has not gone up much because it has got its own cycle after some time. But most of us, what we do, why we are not able to create wealth, is that we try to buy which is going up already, because it gives you, yesterday I saw that it has gone up today and I buy today, then it will go up tomorrow, and it also happens, tomorrow it goes up. Whereas the other asset doesn't go up at all. So we want to go to the peak level and sell it lowest level and buy something, which never happens. 99% never happens. It happened to me by accident. I cannot take the credit for it. It has happened sometimes. I bought EAD value at 105 rupees to 120 rupees in 2020 March, April. But I thought that it's going to go to 80 rupees. It didn't go. Today it is 600 rupees or 650 rupees or something around that. But that is not because of my analytical skills. That's a pure luck, or the various other factors I would say. So don't wait for that. That's a problem. So these are, PPF is one thing which has got all the benefits, exempt. The interest is also exempted. When you take back, there is no tax on it. And when you invest ATC, 1.5 lakh. So that is something which we should build upon. Not for the purpose of ATC. Let's assume that your son or employed somewhere and they are already investing in ATC. The PF is there. Still ask them to invest in another 1.5 lakhs in PPF, not because of ATC, because of the interest-free income which is going to generate from the corpus after 20 years or 23 years or 30 years. Let's assume that they are investing about 1.5 lakhs and next 30 years, if they are 30 years old. By the time they are 60, they will be having somewhere around about crore or something in their account, and which will be generating completely tax-free income, assuming that the government of India doesn't change the tax law. At least they won't do it retrospectively. Okay. So that's something. Today you don't have any other avenue where you can invest 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs and the return is completely exempt from tax. Correct me if I am wrong. So this is one avenue which is ignored by people because I am already covered under ATC. Don't look at that ATC. ATC is something partisan. Forget about it. The return you are going to generate on that huge corpus is going to be completely tax free. So you should take advantage of that. If your wife's name, your PPF account, in your name, your son's name, your daughter's name, you will create a HUF. HUF of course cannot, thanks to our former finance minister, he removed it in 2005. So these are some things which, these are some questions which you should ask for, we have time. Do you have any questions till now?
Can you explain again about the insurance? When you said insure the gap between what it should be and what you have.
So let's say that if I am not there today, and my family needs about 50,000 rupees a month, which means about 6 lakhs a year. And to generate that 6 lakhs post-tax, and with the new needs which may come up in the future, I may need 9 lakhs income. To generate 9 lakhs income at 5% return, I need 1.8 crores. Now, I calculate whatever money I have. In my PF, I have 20 lakhs. In my absence, it will go to my wife. In my fixed deposit, I have 10 lakhs. In my PPF, I have another 20 lakhs. Totally 50 lakhs is there. I need 1.8 crores, but 50 lakhs is there. I should insure myself for 1.3 crores.
That is only if you die. But
Yeah. No, it's a term insurance, Term insurance is just to ensure that if I am not there, my family should not be affected on the income side. Healthcare part of it depends upon various other factors. Healthcare, what you should look at is that what is my family history? Whether my father and mother died at a very young age, they had any heart problem or sugar or any other thing. And if that is there, then I'm more likely to get it at a younger age. So I should cover myself for my health insurance at a higher cost. Maybe 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs or 5 lakhs is not enough. I should cover myself for little more and in added to that critical illness or something where I should take. That is healthcare. The third could be probably accident insurance. If I have 2, 3 employees in my office who go on bike, I take accident insurance for them. So that could be one. Otherwise, you don't need any of the, and you should be very careful and totally avoid. I can tell you that if somebody tells you that there is a policy with the word money back, don't take it. I'm going to give you money, you're going to return the money to me at lower rate of return. Why should I give it to you? Money back, unit linked insurance plan. Luckily, some of the unit linked insurance plan taken 10 years back have performed well now because 4 years of continuous market upward movement. Otherwise, they're very bad. You invest 1 lakh each and after 5 years you go and ask, they will say they will give you only 4 lakhs or 3.2 lakhs. Because see, how it works. What is the commission paid? On the first premium of 1 lakh they pay 15,000 rupees to the insurance agent. Your money has become 85,000. And out of that 85,000 they will take a part towards your insurance. And the rest they will invest it. And for these two allocations they will take allocation charges. And on that, top of that they should make money. And unless otherwise they make 30% return per annum. How can they give you 15% or 14% or 12% return? And can they make you 30% return? Look at the guy who is, and I'm not belittling them, I'm just telling you that in a public sector company or most of this insurance company, look at the guy who is going to handle your money in the investment department. Are they chartered accountants? I don't know. How much of the market they know? It travels all the way from somewhere from Thane and after electric train and then he gets down and then he goes to that office and he is very tired. You are think that the research that the person investment department is supposed to do a lot of research and carefully invest your money. Do any of them have that kind of time to do research, interact with the management? Even if that person goes and interacts with the management, his boss will call and tell him that why are you going and talking to that company? That's the mindset most of them have. Now private sector will be different. Private sector will probably be different. So you have to be very careful with unit linked insurance plan. You have to be very careful with endowment plans. You have to be careful with money back ones. Because we are not taking insurance for any return. I don't want any return. So the return will be there only if any harm happens to me. Otherwise I don't want. So the advantage is that you will be paying only low premium but you will be getting a very good coverage in term insurance.
But at the age which you are, we are all there, term insurance is not possible.
We should have made it irrelevant by now.
Sorry, liability insurance for
Sorry?
liability insurance for professionals.
Yeah.
Is it picking up?
Yeah, that is there. So now even I'm on a board of a couple of companies for directors like indemnity and all we take. So yeah, that is needed. That's a specific category wise, profession wise where you are. What I'm talking is for an individual, an average individual. These two are very much essential. Anything more like householders policy or all, you want to take it depending upon what you have at home and other things. So, yeah. So this is what I was mentioning. That if you look at that positive period of gold and negative bearish period of gold, real estate, and then stocks, these are the periods where it was positive and negative. And if you are holding all the 3 or 4 asset classes, you can benefit. Now, how to hold real estate as an asset class? You can hold gold. Sovereign gold bond is there at 7,000, 8,000 rupees. It is available. Anybody can buy it. Any middle class can buy it. Equity, you can buy it. Okay, you need not always look at a very high risk portfolio of Suzlon or something, but you can always buy Hindustan Lever or any. It's not a recommendation, but just stay in comfort level. But real estate, the minimum ticket size will be several lakhs, right? So how do you go about it? Today, luckily, there is a product called REITs. So you can look at real estate investment trust, which is picking up in a very big way abroad, but in India also now it's slowly picking up. Now you look at the kind of the things which are happening. This is an annual report released by SIRC. So SIRC is one place where people make all the payments. So they collate and based on their experience, they share the same. So mutual fund investment surged by 86%, insurance payments 56% last year. Okay, 2023-24, trading experienced remarkable 62% jump in value in 2024 and various other categories, Health coaching has also seen a significant 45% jump in transactions, showing clear interest in fitness data. If you ask me what is the fitness activity I do, I go for a walk at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning and come back by 6:30. This is the maximum fitness. Maybe if I want to do a little more harder, then I climb the 4 staircase. That's all I do. Ask our children what they do. They go to a gym. Okay, gym you pay 18,000, 20,000, I don't know how much it is, per annum. That's fine. They don't stop with that. The next comes the trainer. So you pay the trainer also. Does it stop there? No. Then they take protein, this, that, and all those things. There is a diet issue. At the age of 30 or 35, just because they can afford all these things and just because they are making more money, and all the three, I am not exaggerating, I have seen many people, those who are upper middle class, or is it typical middle class? I go to this gym, this is my trainer, this is my dietitian. Okay. It's very subjective matter, I cannot comment upon that. But I feel that personally, for me, that I don't need such perfect fitness. By and large, I am perfect. It's okay. But this aspirational society which I mentioned, the younger generation, they feel that it is necessary. But these are all indicative of things which will continue for next couple of years or next decade. Not today, tomorrow, next year. It will be there for about 10, 15 years. Whatever we complain or crib or we try to prevent it, it is not going to stop. And maybe we know that it may be good also later, the current scenario of, it may be needed problem. And these are the other data which they have. Ticketing. Ticketing, you look at, and hotels. You heard about postcard hotels? Postcard, this, Google and find out. There is a podcast, First Principles, and they interview him also, it's very interesting. And he says that, I think not many of us heard about postcard, right? That's all. But probably the children may know about it. If Taj is charging 15,000 rupees rent in a particular place, like Bentota in Sri Lanka, the postcard charges 32,000 rupees. And they say that they are always good. Because they say that we don't sell rooms, we don't sell holidays, we sell experience. These are all words the younger generation likes this. It's an experience. What experience they take us into the sea and they see the sunset, all these things. That's something they make up and they say that, it's really good also. But the question is whether 15 to 32,000 is worth or not. It could be 80,000, it's a subjective matter, but I don't want to be judgmental, but it rarely puzzles us. But there are people, postcard is 70% of the booking he claims it comes direct, not through make my trip or booking.com. So this shows clearly the mindset of the youngsters where they are. I'm not talking about even the entry level IT guys. There are people little above that. There are people, lawyers, who work for big law firms. There are people who work for doctors who make 3 to 4 lakh salary at the age of 30. And then incentives. How do doctors get incentives? More bookings. So, in fact, I know a guy who negotiated also. So these are all the things which you should look at. What is this younger generation? They don't believe in traditional investment because they think that they are global citizens. Today they will be in Singapore, tomorrow they will be in Bangalore, there tomorrow or next year they will be in Ireland. They don't want to buy a house. If you buy a house in Bangalore, who will manage it? So they don't want to buy a house. And a typical middle class, if they don't buy a house, there will be a major amount available as a surplus, disposable surplus. If you are buying a house for 50 lakhs and your EMI is 50,000 rupees, and you are not buying a house, the 50,000 is available at your disposal. That's why you think of postcard and One and Only. There is another one brand called One and Only, that's an international brand, luxury hotels and resorts they have. So these are the sixth senses. There is another one, mobile app, the sixth senses. They all have very exclusive properties in very good locations, beautiful. It's very different from all these 5-star hotels and all. But they are very expensive. So they look at it basically because they don't have, like me, EMI commitment is not there for a house, or they are global citizens, so they don't invest in real estate, they don't believe in gold as investment as a class, even if they believe they buy gold ETF or something. So they increase their financial assets, and manifold increase in Demat account happened in the last 4 years. If you remember, the Depositories Act was passed in 1996. The Demat became compulsory in 2001. It took first 20 years to reach a number of 4 crore Demat accounts. 2001 to 2020, 4 crore Demat accounts. 2020 to 2024, how many Demat accounts now? 14 crore Demat accounts. 4 crore for the 20 years, additional 10 crores in only 3.5 years. That is because of this generation. Then X, Y, Z, whatever it is, millennial, all. So they believe in this and they believe in this asset class. I am very happy about it because India is well insulated from FIs. What FIs did in 2008? They took us to task. They penalized us for their mistakes. The problem of America, the economic problem of America, what they lost in America, the Indian market came down. Indian market crashed. Indian economy was growing at 5% plus even at that point of time. But today that is not happening. FIs are withdrawing continuously for the last 1 month, the market is going because of this money. Because the people who believe in India, believe in Indian economy, believe in Indian companies and the market there. So this is a positive side. The negative side would be that these kids, I call them sophomores, they have not seen failures in the last 4 years. They have never seen the fall. The 1 day, 2 day fall and all forget it, but they have not seen any major fall. The moment they see a major fall continuously for about 2 months or 3 months, I don't know how they will behave. I behaved in a very absolutely wrong manner when the failure happened to me the first time in late 80s.
What goes up will have to come down.
It has to. But not to that extent that it went up. If it goes up by 100, it need not come down by 100. It can come down at 80 or 90. In a growing economy like India, it need not be minus 10 or minus 20. It can happen in America or any other country, grow. But in India, the growth will always be there. The rate of growth will slow down and go up. So it may not come down, but I cannot predict anything. It can happen. So, and look at this. Sovereign gold bond. You want a printout. What we do? We buy a printer, we go to office and take a printout. Do we keep a printer at home? I do keep, but most of us don't keep, right? Because even I keep also, I feel a problem that I have to take a printout every 1 week, 1 month, everything gets dried up. Now nothing. Just they scan this or take a photo, upload your file and link it. You heard about LinkedIn? LinkedIn is very popular in Bombay and all. Now in Chennai also it is available like Zepto or what is another big basket or something. It's a home delivery app. Now you upload the file within 10 minutes, I think, right? Yeah. And he charges 3 rupees per page. Printout charge. You take a printout and come and give it to your home within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Whatever file you are uploading, you can upload it and ask print GPay, and then you go take birth and come back, it will be ready at your doorstep. This is the kind of the generation what we are seeing now, and we will also be addicted to this kind of, I think that I'm not going to buy the printer at home anymore. I may be using this app once it comes to my residential area. But these are the business opportunities, new opportunities which are coming up. We never thought Swiggy would be a business opportunity. Probably, we have laughed at this concept 20 years back or 10 years back. Today it's a very big business opportunity. Zomato is a big business opportunity. Okay? After OTT, we would have never thought that PVR would do very well or Inox will do very well. They are doing very well. Because they are selling experience. They are not selling theatre seats or something. So I'm telling that there are quite a lot of opportunities in the market. Why I am coming to this is that I told you if you go back that most of us don't know what is this 22 karat gold or 24 karat. Most of us don't know how to read a land document. Am I right or wrong? If there is a land document, in my opinion, it should have the name of the seller, name of the buyer, both their Aadhaar card and PAN card number. Maybe it's needed, bank account details can be there, which can be captured in one place. Details of the land, survey number and place. Why do we have 30 pages document and still there are a lot of frauds happening in it? Because none of us understand the land.
It's tracing out to the so many years.
So many years. Why do we need it?
No, that's because banks and other thing they insist on that.
Why do banks need it?
No. So see who is the original holder? Whether any frauds or anything.
Insurance is safety.
Okay, you have a share certificate in your name. You have 100 Infosys in your name, in your Demat account. You won't pledge it. Do they ask you that who won't it prior to you, who won't it prior to you, who won't it prior to you?
This fundamental change is required.
It's a fundamental change is required, sir. It's a mindset. It's very difficult to think about it. I was a part of Shri's secondary market advisory. I told them once in 2008, sir, why don't we do away with this face value concept? Nobody, including JM, forgot his name, he was there. He was very shocked. How can you know? You don't understand how we give stock split, how we give the bonus. Huh?
JM is Nimish Company.
No, let's not get into the names.
Okay.
He was a stockbroker.
Yeah.
A very reputed stockbroker, old man. And he was, and the entire SEBI said, no, he himself says. And he is a person who brought Reliance Power IQ. And they gave bonus, they solved the problem by giving bonus. How can you solve the problem by giving a bonus? You issue the share at a very high price without a business model. And yeah, that's a different. But why do we need a face value? You can have this concept in many countries. If I want to give you, reward you, I can give you one more stock. I give a stock split. If you have 10 shares, I give you 10 more stocks. Or I say that 1:5 ratio, then I give 5 shares to you. That's all. You sell it and take this thing. Your dividend concept is not there in some countries. Right? You can keep giving you stocks, you sell it in the market and encash it. So it needs a different mindset, understand. If I am a bank, I want, in spite of all these things, frauds happen in bank also. There is a land in ECR which was sold, their township or something, which was sold near Mudaliar. I forgot the promoter's name. I don't want to mention the wrong name. So somebody, it's a very popular man, he won several awards and all. And that got into problem. And there are lands and properties which are sold, same land sold to 3 people, 2 people. It does not get corrected by collecting 30 documents or 40 documents. It gets corrected by mapping your, which is going to happen. I'll quickly take you through this. Once you go there. No, again I'll go back to that. Why I said that we don't understand real estate, but we believe we understand. We don't understand what we believe we understand. But we really understand stock market, but we think we don't understand. How do I say we understand stock market? It's simple. Right from morning to the evening, what you keep doing, you keep write it in a paper. The moment you get up in the morning, you use a toothpaste. How much it costs, how many toothpaste you have used in your life, and how many toothpaste you will be using in your rest of your life, and what brand it is, how much you have spent on that 1 minute of activity. Toothbrush, thank you. Hair oil, shampoo, soap. Within first 1 hour, you will be spending crores in your life. Because you are a 4-member family. Multiply that. The coffee what you had, what brand coffee. The sugar what you had, Perry or whatever. So how to go to office? In your 2-wheeler or a 4-wheeler, Maruti or Hero. And how much, where to put your petrol? Indian Oil Corporation, it shows you. How much of money you are spending in the first 2 hours of your morning. And that's where the money goes. And those companies are big corporate because of you. And you spend money, they make money. And you are not part of the wealth creation. What is there to understand in this? Maybe the choice of the stock would have been a problem 30 years back. Today index is there. 50 best stocks index is there. One certain kind of stock also will be there in the 50. Don't worry about that one. But 49 is good. We all understand. We all bank with State Bank of India or HDFC Bank. We put our fixed deposit. We borrow money from them. We know how they make money. We know what could be their NPA broadly. And these banks are not going to run away. But we put a fixed deposit at 7%, but we don't want to buy the stock which has given you such high growth. HDFC Bank has given 25% CAGR year after year after year, quarter after quarter. Okay, they may not keep going forward, but they have given in the last 25 years, they have given. State Bank of India is 150 rupees, 175 rupees in 2020 during March. Today it is 800 rupees. State Bank of India, I am not talking about Kotak or I am not talking about other banks. So, we all understand, but we refuse to think that, we refuse to accept that we understand because the volatility scares us. Okay, how do they buy insurance? Not like me, not through people, they all go through insurance aggregators. And Government of India is coming up with, you heard about this? This is going to be a UPI of insurance, that's what they claim. Where all the private insurers, public insurers, everybody will be getting themselves listed. What are the products they are offering? What will be the premium? What is the rate? what will be the coverage, what is the tax benefit, everything will be there displayed as a trend. This will be like Amazon or Flipkart of insurance. That's what they claim. What you can do with this? And who owns this? LIC and other public sector companies and some of them own this company, this platform, I would say. Now, end-to-end one-stop solution, you can buy insurance policy, you can renew the insurance policy, you can claim settlement, you can, agent portability. You don't like this agent, you can give it to another agent. Direct is also possible, I think, right? Policy portability is there from Star, you can shift to GAC or United India or United India to Star. You don't like, you don't call from grievance redressal. All these are possible in this grievance portal. They're going to launch it shortly. I don't know whether they're ready to launch it, but they'll be launching it shortly. I quickly run through certain other things. This we discussed. Yeah. The REITs and maybe this is a gold. Look at the gold was at 58,000 rupees on October 2023 and now 76,000 rupees. It's a 24 karat gold. Okay. And this is the gold price. You look at that peak. Can you see that 1980? That is the peak of 850. From there, continuously next 20 years, it has not gone up until 2000. Can you see it? From 2002, it started going up until 2012. From 2012 to 2015, it came down from I think about $1,800 to $1,100 or something, 33% fall. We refuse to believe that gold fall, but gold has fallen. Okay, and then from there it has gone up. And 2020, from 2020 to 24, 23, it was on a sideways movement, somewhere between $1,900 to $2,000. Now in the last few months, it has gone up to $2,400. So gold has got its own asset cycle, plus and minus is there. If you are long during the period of 2002, 3, 4 and all, you would have made money in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if you have gone long again and 2013, 14, 15, you would have made money in 2020, 21. The advantage with sovereign gold bond, as I mentioned, is the tax benefit, and even if you sell it within the 8 years in the market, if you are selling it after 3 years, the long-term capital gain, whatever is available, was available earlier, now it is not available. You know, the debt and all, now they have to move it.
Sorry, gold price is going up because central banks are acquiring the gold, rental rights. That is the driver, not because of consumption demand.
Yeah, consumption demand has not gone up substantially in India. India is the major consumer, it has not gone up substantially.
What percentage of allocation of say, in sovereign gold bond you would advise?
I would certainly advise.
What percentage? 10%, 15%?
See, nobody has got a scientific method to tell why they are saying this, but generally we keep telling the 5 to 10% because to that extent your what we call the returns, will get affected in that 90%. Suppose this 10% is not performing well, that should be adjusted in the 90% balance. So we say that 5 to 10% in gold is okay, because gold never beats the inflation. It almost moves along with inflation. There are pockets where it beats inflation, like it has done in this year. 25% has appreciated in the last 7 or 8 months.
Any study on SIP-like investment in sovereign gold bond has yielded, any study which is there?
So it's very difficult to do that because it is highly illiquid. Even though it is listed in the market, it's not very liquid. The impact cost is little high, 100 rupees. It is better than gold jewelry, that's all. But it's very difficult to. Maybe gold ETF, you can do that. Gold ETF, you can do that. I don't know whether any study is done. I'm not very sure. Scientific. Yeah, trading in international stocks is one way of de-risking yourself. If you cannot, you can trade in international stocks through BSE and NSE has got a subsidiary company through the GIFT City. You can become a member. They send you a link. You just fill in and do your KYC on your own. You're on your own. You do the KYC, then you can transfer the funds through any one of those authorized banks like ICICI, HDFC, State Bank, whatever it is. And then they charge the money for the transfer apart from the dollar conversion rate. So there are 2 charges involved in it. So you should be very careful, unless otherwise you are going to do reasonably big amount. when I say big amount, maybe about 1 million rupees or whatever it is, it's not worth doing it because your cost of that fund transfer, then all those things will be quite high. And also another problem is that, or the benefit is that, they don't charge on percentage basis like most of the Indian brokers do. Whether you transact for 10 lakhs, you buy shares for 10 lakhs or 1 lakh, they just charge a fixed sum of $2 or $1 or whatever. Some of them give certain trades free of cost also. Like where I trade 2 trades or 3 trades are free, then after that they charge $2 per trade. So I buy for $500 also $2 is the brokerage. I buy for $100 also $2 is the brokerage. So if I buy for $100, 2% is my brokerage. If I buy for $1,000, it is 0.2%. $10,000 is 0.02%. So I get benefited to that extent. So be careful. There is enough volatility in US market. It is not as flat as it used to be. Nvidia, which was about $180, now it is $1,000. I bought at 190, I bought at 180, then it came down 150 or something. The moment it touched 220, so Gaurav. My son is still holding on to it and it is 1,000. You see, that's a mindset difference. So there are a lot of, if you don't want to directly trade in that, there is a product called Motilal Oswal Nasdaq 100 or similar ETFs are available where you can invest. Or Parak Parik's kept mutual fund, invest 30% of the fund into bank stocks. FAANG, Google, and Alphabet. The other alternative is that PMS. If your investment is more than 50 lakhs, you can look at portfolio management services. Most of them do a decent job. They take responsibility. Luckily in India still not many frauds have happened, or as far as I know nothing has happened. Intentional wrong allocation has not happened to my knowledge, but it is too early to say because probably this business is very active for the last 2 years only. So they're earlier but active now for the last 7-8 years, but we may have to wait and see as a mature product. I would suggest that go to if you are planning to go for a portfolio management, go to a place where you can meet the number one. Not on a daily basis, but at least once in a year you want to get out of it, you should be able to get out of it. Otherwise, don't go. So, that's something. Then, if you don't have the 50 lakhs and you want to invest 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 3 lakhs and all, but on a systematic manner, and you don't want to go to mutual fund, then small case is available. Small case is a pipeline which links the broker and the advisor and the client. The client wants to invest 1 lakh in a particular portfolio, but he doesn't know what portfolio. There is an advisor which gives, this is the set of portfolio, this is the weightage of these 10 stocks, and if you give 1 lakh, I will invest like this. If you give 10 lakhs, I will invest it like this. He just transfers 1 lakh and clicks on it, same ratio, the shares will be bought from the broker. Hope you understand, right? So, this is beneficial for people who want to do a systematic investment process directly in stocks, but in a portfolio recommended by a reputed person, somebody like, in Chennai you have prime investor. I'm not recommending him, but there is a prime investor. There are various such people are there available. They are linked to 17 brokers. Small cases linked to 17 brokers also now. But there are some private brokers also offering this similar service. Okay, so that can be looked into. There are small case portfolios available anywhere from 25,000-30,000 rupees to 5 lakhs something like that. One lot will be 5 lakhs, which will be investing into 7 or 8 or 10 stocks in different categories, or in auto sector alone or IT sector alone. You can pick and choose. So that's also there. I've spoken about it. Yeah. The other one which I spoke about is real estate investment trust, where a sponsor starts a real estate investment trust, which is sort of a mutual fund regulated by SEBI, and unit holders give their money to them, and the REIT appoints a fund manager, REIT manager, who invests in properties which are generating revenue. You have to be very careful. The regulation very clearly says that the REIT manager should invest only in properties which are already completed and rented out. It should be generating positive cash flow. That's 90% or 70%, some percentage is there, they have to invest in that. The rest also should be, there are subject to certain conditions. And whatever rent generated will be divided after deducting their expenses, it will be given to the unit holders. This is the first income. The second type of income which comes from the REITs is that they will be investing in these properties, and after 10 years or sometime they will be selling the properties. They will be making a capital gain. That part also will be divided and given to the unit holders. There is a third set of income which can come is they will create a SPV for a particular project. REIT will create a SPV for one particular project. Once the project is done, they will sell it and they may make a profit. or that project will be giving a return. The return could be in two forms. There is a taxation issue is there still. I am not very clear about that part of it, but I can tell you whatever I know. I may be wrong partly. That SPV will give a dividend or a return to that parent company REITs, or it can also treat it as a loan and return as a loan. Depending upon how they account it, the trust is a pass-through vehicle. So the same tax treatment will come to us. So that's the dividend is now taxable. It was tax-free earlier, now it is taxable. They don't call it dividend, it's a payout. Okay, it is taxable. And the moment you sell that REITs unit after 1 year, the same STCG context. It is like a equity stock in that treatment. When you forget about the return what you get from them, the payout or whatever it is. But you are buying Barrett or Brookfield is there at 258 rupees today. After 1 year you are selling at 300 rupees. That 42 rupees, if it is more than a year, it will be subject to that 1 lakh limit and subject to that 10% taxation. So that is still available as a unit holder. You can do that because you are paying security transaction tax on it. These are the REITs which are available in India right now, listed in the market. There are some unlisted also there, but you have to be careful with it. Listed are a little better. The first three are a little older ones. Embassy and Mindspace is trading at 350 rupees around per unit, and Brookfield is trading at 258 rupees. It was issued at 275. Trading at a discount. Nexus, I think it's about 125 rupees right now. I don't remember what 360 is trading. See, this is the scenario in US. Look at the 940 in 2023. In India, we have only 4 or 5. So there is a large space available for REITs, and this will also like sovereign gold bond when people go for asset allocation and they don't have 1 crore or 50 lakhs to buy a house or even to pay for the margin 10 lakhs or something. They will start investing in REITs to take part in them.
What typical investor of even common individual investor, or it is basically funds investor?
No, everyone can invest.
I know everyone can invest. Yeah. Typical investor.
No, the major investment will be from the funds only, sir, as of now. The retail investors are there, but not much. But going forward, I think the more retail investment will come into it, because the problem with retail investor is that the moment they come to here, they don't mind getting nil return from gold. You should understand the psychology. Nil return from gold doesn't affect them, but even a 6% return from REITs affects them. Okay, 6%, why should I put my money there?
And that was my question here.
So far traditionally the returns what you have got from REITs in the last 2 years is 6 to 7% or something like that. I am not talking about the capital gain what has happened. Mindspace has gone up from 300 rupees to 350 rupees, so 15% return in the last 1 year. I am talking about the payout whatever they have given. Okay. Okay, mutual funds, I think we can skip this most of your amount is also. These are all unregulated products, so better to avoid cryptocurrency. As of now, there is a crypto ETF. I don't know why they created that product. The intention is very clear, according to me. I may be wrong, but crypto is only one Bitcoin. That's all. All others are created by somebody. Somebody is the promoter. The crypto cannot be promoted. Crypto is without promoter. That's why that's the basic purpose of crypto. And you have a promoter for that company, either Ethereum or whatever it is. Somebody is running that company, somebody is making profit out of it, and they are creating an ETF out of it. 99% is Bitcoin, 1% will be all this 10 or 20 Dogecoin or whatever is put together. It's a mockery of, they want the retail investors to pull in and dump everything on their head and go on. Bitcoin, which was $60,000, it came down to $17,000 last year, and now again it is $70,000. So, Bitcoin will continue to, in all probability, will be doing very well, but it is unregulated as of now in India. It is not illegal, but it is not legal also probably. It's a grey area. And of course, the small and medium exchange offering is doing very well, SME exchange. Some of the companies are doing extremely well, but again, we have to be very cautious with this thing. There are 349 companies which are listed in Emerge, NSE, and the PSE is a little more. And there is another platform called Innovators Growth Platform where people can, subject to minimum public offer of 10 crores and minimum application of 2 lakhs, accredited investors or APIs, we call them, AIs, accredited investors only can invest. Who is accredited investor? Accredited investor is an investor, individual or can be a non-individual, but total gross income of 50 lakhs in case of individual per annum, and who has a minimum liquid net worth of 5 crores. Liquid net worth of 5 crores. Then he's got accredited investor, and he can invest in this platform, and the companies can offer the shares in this platform. This is part of NSE. Okay. In case of body corporate, the net worth will be 25 crores. And this is ITP or institutional trading platform. Again, for startups, credible startups, they can list their company without an IPO, and the minimum order value should be 10 lakhs. And this happens with a different set of people, like accredited investors only can do in this, not retail. Retail can never participate in IGP and ITP. Social stock exchange is a long serving. We had a session here some time back, Institute. I was talking about it. This is, there are for-profit organizations, there are not-for-profit organizations, and this not-for-profit organization can get themselves listed in social stock exchange. These the not-for-profit organizations are called social enterprises, and they get themselves listed in the stock exchange basically to ensure more transparency, so that more people will bring in money and give it to them, and for which they can issue even a bond called something called zero coupon, zero return principal bond, either bond. And it's not a separate stock exchange. It connects people who want to donate, the corporate, the social organization for enterprises through this platform. That's what happens. And basically, these are not-for-profit organizations, and there are also for-profit organizations which can get themselves listed in the regular stock exchange also. Okay. And without raising funds, they can also get themselves listed for better transparency. Now, what happens is many people, and I'm part of an NGO, which a lot of NRIs from US and a lot of money. But what they want is transparency. If I'm going to renew Ashok Nagar, we renewed that Ashok Nagar license, about 20 lakhs. So they want to send a photograph before, then after, then estimate from 3 people to renovate it. So these are the things they want. And it has to be, they also want it to be certified by a third-party agency. We go to Madras School of Social Work and get it done, but then they want somebody like EY to do that, which is very expensive. They have spent 20 lakhs and I have to pay another 10 lakhs to this person. So now there are social audit, this audit work is also becoming.
Most of us should be social auditors.
Yeah. Social auditors are there, so that can be done. Mutual fund, I'll completely skip this. Running short of time. Yeah, one has to be very careful in investing in IPO. I think, I don't know how many of you have invested in Paytm IPO. Have you heard about Paytm, what rate it was issued?
2,100.
Yeah. In unlisted market, it was trading at 2,500 rupees. Before IPO, long before IPO. And luckily I didn't pay that with that money. I got Tata Technology at 1,000 rupees or 1,100. And when they came out with the IPO of the 600 or 700, I was concerned. Then when I looked at it, my shares, instead of 100 shares, I got 1,000 shares because they issued a bonus. So luckily, the number of shares have gone up, but the price has come down. Okay, the rate at which I bought was different. So IPO investing, many people think that investing in NFO or IPO is a better. In my opinion, I don't think it's a good strategy because there is one seller and too many buyers. Where there is only one seller and too many buyers, the price will naturally be skewed and there is no equal this thing. The scientific price discovery doesn't happen. Somebody dictates the price. And second thing is that if it is a good issue, listen to me carefully, if it is a good issue, you don't get an allotment. If you get an allotment, invariably it is not a good issue. You get an allotment only in a bad issue. If you are very lucky, you will get allotment also in a good issue, then it will be a park, 7 shares, 8 shares.
Those days we used to get.
That is 92, sir, cut out of capital issue. At the same day, those days only, we also got PAC food and all those craft companies also. So, I still have Tapper milk product, thinking that it belongs to Tappers, but no connection between Tapper milk product and Tappers. Tappers also did do well later. Okay, that's a different thing. So, 92 was a different thing. So, we have to be very careful, and in NFO people think that by paying 10 rupees, they are getting more number of units than buying and mutual fund, which is NAV is 80 rupees or 90 rupees. The difference between stock market and mutual fund is in stock market what we pay is a price, but not value. In mutual fund, what we pay is for the value. If we pay 80 rupees, there is 80 rupees worth of stocks are there. If you pay 10 rupees, only 10 rupees worth of stock is there. Getting more number of units is not going to help you in any way. So that is something which we should keep in mind. And market fluctuation, year-wise from 2000 first 20 years, how the market has fluctuated, and you can see the differences. It's a big difference. Every year has given opportunity, anywhere between lowest is 14% or something, and the highest is about 52%, 52% in 2020 or something. This is the volatility which has happened in the last 20 years. Every year, 65%. In 2008, 65% volatility. From the bottom to top. And no expert would have got hold of it. This extreme volatility. But it gives you a fairly good picture about the opportunity the market gives. Okay. But when it appreciates by 60% or 50%, we are fully invested. Now we invest, and when it falls, we don't have money. We don't have money to invest because we are fully invested. Or if we have money, we think that it may fall by another 30%. So the only way to get out of this is that not being judgmental and look at it. So now we are going to look at next 10 or next few slides on the current market condition and current economic scenario, and what are the data points which we can look at apart from those popular 10 or 8 CPI, WPF, IIP, those numbers. All those numbers we all know, but there are certain other indicators which tells you very clearly where India is going, where we are going, and based on that we can take a call on where we should put our money and where we should not, or what kind of asset allocation we can have. This may not be very clear, but this tells you that e-commerce is doing extremely well. I think nobody need not tell us, and every day when somebody rings a bell at our house, we know that who is doing very well. Now look at the tax collection, which is corporate income tax, personal income tax, and the security transaction tax. All these things put together, 17% up over 2022-23. The December data, maybe you may be having March data now, I have to update it. But net collections, there is an increase of 20%, and these are direct tax collection. And next you look at indirect tax collection, GST. This again is a old dated data up to February or January thing. Now March, April, we all know that is 2 lakhs. 2,10,000. And probably that would have made our effort to look at, committing something informally in a BSc meeting. She said, probably you asked me that, probably we can look into it, or that is justified, or to that amount she made some comment. So probably they may look at rationalizing the GST part of it sometime. So, but the collection has gone up substantially and consistently it is going up. These are two indicators. Who will pay income tax without earning? Somebody comes and tells us that the economy is not doing very well. How to believe that? When people are paying income tax, they are earning money. That's a commitment they are making. And the most individual corporates may make payment promptly, but most of the other people will make, if my tax liability is 5 lakhs, I will only make 4 lakhs. That 1 lakh I will keep for the last quarter, that whether I will make some losses or adjustments or whatever it is.
Partly because of 26 AS and AIX.
Yes, advanced collection. Okay, but the one good thing what is happening is that when they pay, I am very happy that I want to pay more now, because they pay a very good interest when they refund, right? How much they pay, sir?
Only at the same
Assuming, but what is the rate of return they give?
6%.
6%? This is only 6%?
Yeah. So,
then I will be
they collected 18%.
That's okay. That's okay. They are government, So, huh? 6%? You are sure about it, sir? Then I will stand corrected.
Better than SBI, sir.
Yeah, better than that. No, but in US it is there. In US you have the option to get the refund or that whatever tax collected in a different format. You can collect it, I believe that you can collect it as a US government bond with a fixed rate of return, and they will give it to you, fetch a return over a longer period of time. So look at the domestic air traffic. It has gone up substantially, and you don't even look at the numbers, you just look at the airports. You believe that what is happening. Look at the tariffs, what is happening. Then look at the petrol diesel sales month on month. Actually, there is actual consumption of petrol, diesel and air traffic fuel which is happening in the last several months. I'm not even comparing with 2020, 21 to 22. I'm saying that 23 to 22 and 22 to 23, which is substantially very high. Cooking gas up by 6.9%, jet fuel sales up by 6.2%. This is not in terms of value, but in terms of volume. Then there is a silent demonetization which has happened, which is UP. UP is a silent demonetization which has happened because none of us are, you don't get more than except 500 rupees, you don't get anything from the AT. And wherever we go, we don't want 500 rupees, we use only UPI line.
Either compulsion.
Yeah. So look at the numbers, the number of transactions on UPI network. This is January, it has gone up in February, it has gone up further in March, April, I don't know the numbers. And look at per minute 22,000 transactions. Per second, almost 400 transactions. This is amazing. And this is something which we should feel very proud about. Whoever has started this, I don't know the history of this UPA and QR code and all these things. But it was started a long time back. The initiative was started a long time back, irrespective of whichever government it is. This is an amazing thing which has happened to India in the last few years. Because it's our own technology, it's a unique technology, and which is fetching a lot of other incidental benefits. What are those incidental benefits? Let's discuss that. Look at this effect on GST and income tax going forward. What can happen? What can happen? Collection will improve, and people will start getting notice. Who will get notice? Just outside the gate, on the right side, there is a tea shop. You will get a notice from the taxes department. Because his collection is going to be 10 lakhs a year, sir.
Sir, they are taking names, they are putting up different UPSC data. Every day they change the data.
They are also smart, they have been doing it. But a typical tea shop, which is selling around 10,000 rupees a day, they will be sometimes in this place. So it is about 3 lakhs a month. And assuming that his profit is about 50% or 40% or 30%, it would be about 30% also 1 lakh or 75,000, which is the salary of a college professor or a school teacher or somebody. And the school teacher or a college professor or a bank employee is paying 30% tax or 20% tax on it. This guy is not paying any tax on it. And how much will it come to? His annual turnover will be more than 10 lakhs and he will be earning 5-6 lakhs. But 5-6 lakhs and is there? Try otherwise it's okay. Next 2-3 slides on. Now the moment all this money is coming and falling into his bank, the bank, you can easily see that he is getting 10 lakhs a year as well. The advantage is that the bank will not hesitate to give him a clean OD of 1 lakh. The bank will not hesitate to give him 2 lakhs loan also, personal loan. Like they are giving you and me, they will give him. Okay, this is advantage. The drawback, no, they don't want to call it a drawback. The other thing which can happen is that government will tell them, look, you are not like a college professor or a school teacher who is inside a air-conditioned hall and taking classes. You are suffering in the sunlight. So what I will do is I will not tax you 10% or 20% or 30%. On your turnover, you just pay some 5%. 10 lakhs, just pay some 50,000 rupees or 5,000 or 10,000, whatever it is. They mean, I don't know. So this is one thing which has happened, which is going to improve compliance, improve tax collection, improve GST collection, improve income tax collection. So, but we have to be very careful. The more and more we talk about it, like he says, they will be using 2-3 QR codes, 2-3 different names and so on. Okay. The next thing which is happening in India right now is that the gold hallmark ID. The gold hallmarking ID, which is about I think 6 digits, right? Which will tell you that what is the product, ring or chain or whatever it is it a rose gold or white gold or whatever it is. Then it will also who made it, Nathala, who made it, GRT. With this alphanumeric number, every gram of gold imported into gold will be accounted for. The last 1 gram will be accounted with this unique hallmark ID, UHID, which is almost made mandatory. They say that we have given exception of 20 lakhs to jewelers and all. Who makes 20 lakhs? I mean, it will be crores. Even in a small village or a town, you go there, there will be a small jeweler will be buying gold worth 20-25 lakhs in a year, 2 lakhs in a month. Okay, so everything is coming into system. This is another major reform which is happening. So they have not strictly implemented this in the sense like inspection and other things. It will happen. You know, you cannot, people are used to certain system. If you won't harass them, then everything will fall collapse. So probably they will ultimately take it up in a very serious manner and implement it in a much, implementation is started, but then they will supervise it. And the third and final important thing which I want to conclude is, this is comes. See this UPI. Best thing about UPI is now Singapore, United Arab Emirates, Nepal, Bhutan, all these Malaysia, all these countries are trying to adopt this technology. Pay now in Singapore, they are trying to adopt this. Many other countries are in talks with this. This is what I mentioned, you know. BAS mark, purity of code, 6-digit alphanumeric code, which will be unique for each and every jewelry article made in India. Like your stocks has got an ISBN number, right? Like books has got a number. Every book published globally has got a number. So this will also have a number and that will be tracked. And because that is linked with your PAN card and your bank account, GST, everything is linked. Now the final one which I want to tell about is that unique land parcel ID or unique land parcel identification number, ULPIN. This ULPIN trial run is done in states like Bihar and other states. And there are certain states who don't want to do it because they fear that, because what is ULPIN? The land in India will be divided into cents or whatever minimum unit, and every unit will be given a unique number, identification number. If I have 10 cents of land, there will be 10 unique identified number which will be mapped to my PAN card. And my PAN card anyhow is mapped to my Aadhaar card and both are mapped to my bank account. Right. Now I am going to sell this land to him. So his bank account, his PAN, his Aadhaar, all are mapped. This ULPIN by the 10 numbers will go to him. It will be assigned to him in DMAT mode. And they will be verifying, you know, in all probability. The department can verify my bank account for the last 6 months or next 6 months. Same way his bank account for the last 6 months and next 6 months. His wife's account, my wife's account, you know, for the last 6 months and next 6 months. If I am saying that I have transacted 1 crore worth property, 1 crore is credited to his account. In addition to that, there are 10 lakh credited to his account and his wife's account. Similarly, 10 lakhs is withdrawn from my account and my wife's account. Now they will start asking you questions. Even now they can do this. But this will become even more tight with this kind of thing. They are going to simplify this process. The problem with this is that the central government wants to implement this with a central repository of these documents. State government says that this is how you will start everything. Then like GST you will take it to stamp duty will go to you. Central government says that stamp duty will be with you, don't worry, but we will maintain the document. There is apart from this, there could be a lot of things which we don't meet our rights. A lot of benami transactions which may be happening, we don't know. So that's why many politicians may be very careful or hesitant to adapt to this. We don't know. But this will ultimately come. You know, our experience says in the last several years, if the government decides to do certain things, at any cost they will bring it. So this can happen over a period of time. It's only a matter of question. This will be the last one on all these things. Okay, so these are the things which, you know, demonetization, GST, UPI, and unique hallmark ID and unique land parcel. Okay, demonetization, I don't know whether it had the effect what they intended, but it had certain other side effects, which is better compliance because the number of taxpayers has gone up substantially, the tax collection has gone up substantially, and all these things have happened in the last few years. Maybe it's time for citizens to ask that what is happening to all this money collected. Okay, so this is with this background we should look at the Nifty. Just saying that Nifty 22 or 23 is very high is not going to, because I'll show you one interesting slide. This is Nifty movement in the last 20 years. With in spite of all the falls which has happened in between, it has gone up. The Nifty PE was at its peak. Now this is an interesting slide which I just want to take you. See this. March 2020 or February 2020, this is January 2020. The PE was somewhere around 40. What was the Nifty then? Anybody tracking the market tell me? What is the Nifty now? 22,000 and odd. And what is the PE now? 22. Somewhere around 21.8 to 22. Okay. Let's say 22. Right now, Nifty PE price earning ratio is 22. And Nifty is at 22,500. Nifty was 40 in 2020 January. What must have been the Nifty level then? When it was 14,800, the PE was 40. Now the Nifty is 22,500. It has gone up substantially. But the PE has come down. How is it possible? When the Nifty goes up, the PE should go up, right? It has not gone up because the companies have performed better. The profits have come up better. So that is why I am saying that just saying that Nifty 40 is high at that point of time, it's not going to help because Nifty was 14,500 3 years back, 4 years back. And Nifty is 22,500. It has given almost about 12% return in the last 4 years, or 14% return in the last 4 years, in spite of Nifty being at 40 in 2020. So that is something because of the higher growth which is happening in the economy. Now there could be a dispute whether the growth happens uniformly to everyone, to MSMEs, to smaller power. That is a different question to be addressed. Because we get mixed up with this thing and they say India is not doing very well. Because MSMEs are not doing very well, does not mean India is doing. India is doing very well, economy is doing very well. Government should try to make it widespread or whatever. That's a different thing. Look at the PE right now. It's about 20, close to 22, which is not very high. In fact, it looks very attractive at this position, though there are a lot of balloons or stocks like 110 PE, 120 PE, which you've never heard of. The names of stocks which you've never heard of, continuously making losses, trading at 110 PE or without PE, because still they're in loss. So one has to be very careful and pick and choose the companies like that. This is one thing which you look at across Nifty 50, Nifty 100. When you look at it, the more profits have come from Nifty next, mid cap and small cap than the Nifty itself. But Nifty is the one which gives you stability. Nifty is the one which gives you comfort level. Because it's the top 50 companies in terms of market cap, in terms of liquidity, in terms of impact cost, all those things. So it's up to you to choose based on your risk appetite. And this is again how the market has moved in the last 20 years. And you look at the peak 40, 2020, that's a 40 P when you look at that. And then now it is 22. So you can make your own conclusion. And most of this data is available in primeinvestor.in free of cost. There are certain features, subscriber features, but these are all, I think it is available to everyone. You can look at it. There is another one, Capitamind. They also give this data. Capitamind by Shri. Yeah. So this is something which I wanted to caution before. And again and again, I'm talking about only asset allocation and diversification, not about putting all your money either in stocks or fixed deposits. This is very important. World over, the communities which have created huge wealth have done it by investing in across asset classes, not by putting their money, everything into one basket. That's very important. And you have to understand yourself first before getting into the market. What kind of a person I am? Am I willing to take this kind of volatility, this risk? Or peace is more important. There are a lot of books available, and I don't want to suggest reading so many books, but some of these books which have interested me, which I have not handled today, which I started with this, but I have not handled this part of it today, is on behavioral finance or behavioral economics. Part of it. All these books deal not directly with stock market, except that the psychology of money. All these are almanac. All these books deal with art of decision making, how mature one should be, how to train your mind to be or brain to be mature, emotionally balanced, so that you can take a proper decision. Particularly, I like that almanac, Poor Charlie's Almanac. That's Charlie Munger, who passed away recently, Warren Buffett's partner. Good book. All are. Nudge is written by Richard Thaler, who is a Nobel laureate. Thinking Fast and Slow is written by Daniel Kahneman, who is a Nobel laureate. Dan Ariely and Morgan Housel writes an article for Fool.com. So all these are good books. Nicholas Taylor, his Twitter handle is very interesting, you can see that. And there is one interesting person, Ashwat Damodaran, evaluation guru. You should look at his free videos available online if you are really interested in, or teaching your, the next generation about valuation and other things. How can you make such a subject very interesting? You have hardly come across such professors. And your guide to bet, you don't want to do all those things. This is a direct feeds you. There are 30, 40 types of different investments, and here there are 4 or 5 pages about each investment in written in a very simple language. What is the tax benefit, what is the minimum investment, what is the maximum investment, and other things. By values, these are some of the resources which you can look at. There are some interesting apps. There is a podcast by Pinshots. Every day morning they upload it. It is just 6 minutes. Just 6 minutes. While traveling in the car, you can listen to it. On the current topic, they talk about it. Very interesting way they put it, and it is not very lengthy. Pinshots podcast is very nice, and the money like videos are very, very educative and informative. They are activist kind of thing. And stock edge is again, there is part of it is free. Don't subscribe or log in. It's up to you. If you are a serious investor, subscribe. Otherwise, there are a lot of free features available in stock edge mobile app and some of the other apps. So you can look at them if you are a direct investor in stocks. Prime Minister also has got a mobile app. You can look at that also. Above all, Zerodha University. There you can read quite a lot. I think that is one good thing which they have done, probably to nullify the negative thing what they have done by motivating people to trade very frequently because it is only 20 rupees per contract. So with this I conclude, and this foundation for financial freedom, what we do is that whatever programs we do for self-help groups and government schools and colleges, teachers and children, we go and teach them about the importance of savings, the importance of self-reliance, and the importance of investing it wisely. Nothing about stock market. There we don't talk about stock market. That's different thing. How you should be careful in borrowing, how you should be careful about credit cards in case if you earn and get a job. How even a small 10 rupees or 20 rupees savings can put you in a better place. These are all how to be financially responsible. We try to do that in and around Madurai. And if any one of you are from Madurai and if you want us to do this program, there is a resource person who is a college professor available there in Madurai who will go to that place. They only have to provide a place like this. It may not be air conditioned hall. A place like this with a PowerPoint presentation facility. It can be a college, a government college or a government school. For the teachers, for the students, for the school students. You will talk in such a simple language which will reach out to them. So you please feel free to mail me. We'll be very happy to send the Shambhu Rajan, the person who handles it, will send them. And
is it available in Chennai also?
I don't have a resource person, sir. I myself have to go, which I used to do 10 years back. Now I stopped. It's very difficult to travel all the time. But there are SEBI-trained resource persons available. The names probably must be there in SEBI website. You can look at it. They have trained for these. Shambhu Rajan also one SEBI-trained person. But their conditions are different, so he said I will not do for them. Because they say that you have to do for self-help group, then you have to do for women, you have to do for businessmen, so 6 categories, each one minimum 2 hours. See, that is very difficult for someone like him to do. He is a full-time employed in a weekends, he can go and do it. So there are people in Chennai available. I'm sure that they must be there, you can check. Or I'll also check and I will let you know. You just make find out that. Okay, so with that I thank the institute and all of you for patiently listening to me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our green investment trust.
Sorry?
Our green investment trust.
Oh, InvIT, you are talking about InvIT. See, InvIT again is, it's okay. Like a diversification, 2 to 3% of your money, you can put it there because it's only fixed return. And sometimes when the interest rate comes down, the unit price may go up by 2 to 3%. So your 6 or 7% or 8% will become 9% per month.
It's a capital save.
I think it is safe. It's a government of, see, it is not integrity. Integrity is different. But this is government, it's a PSU. So we have to trust them. But they don't guarantee it. But we have to trust them. Thank you.
Yes, we did touch the bonds, I think, sir. Bonds and all.
See, bonds, but a bit, you can see. There are good bonds available 10 years back. Ennur Kamaraj Port, it's a public sector company and AA rated. They gave 9.05%. That's not end there. That 9.05% was tax free. You don't get that such bonds nowadays. So that's why. Now probably you may get Muthoot or Manappuram at 9.9% or whatever it is. It is up to you to take the risk and I'm not saying that you lose your money, but there is a risk element. That's why they are paying that higher interest. So you have to take, if you are willing to take that risk, you go for it. According to me, I have only two types of investment. 100% safe with mental peace like PPF, or let me go take risk and take a plunge into the market. So I don't have any NCDs in my portfolio. I don't have any stocks in my fixed deposits in my portfolio. Either it is PPF from 1991. I have a PPF account. Every year, April 2nd or 3rd, I won't invest the entire money into that because I get the interest for the full year, tax free. And rest and all is into either unlisted or listed equity. That's all I have. So you have to analyze your risk appetite and do that. But for 1 or 2% extra, going to a bond, to me doesn't make any difference. Because that's also risky. At least if it is risk free, like Ennur Kamaraj put 9% and all, they can. I don't think.
This coming out of all finance. You don't recommend.
Sir, I would not say I would not recommend. Do you know that that company is a profit making company or loss making company?
It's a loss making.
No, sir. It's not a loss making.
There is a state government guarantees.
Huh?
State government guarantees that because in major work is state government.
Correct. But are you sure that they are guaranteed? Are they guaranteeing it? Is it mentioned in the website?
They don't guarantee.
See, I believe that a part of that, which is the retail investors part, is secured with a guarantee to the government. I am not very sure about that, but you have to check. That's a different thing. The assumption is government will never default as far as India is concerned. That's the assumption. Now, to correct that company has never incurred loss even 1 year. It is there for the last 30 years. Tamil Nadu Power Finance and Infrastructure Development Corporation is there for the last almost 30 years. Not even 1 year they have lost money. On the contrary, they have been declaring dividend hundreds of crores to the government. They have been paying taxes hundreds of crores. But the problem comes because they lend, there is a concentration risk. They lend to a person who is only one person who is making huge losses. They lend to Tangico or DNB or whatever it is, which is a consistent loss maker, and so it's a concentration risk.
Recipients are question.
Huh?
The recipients are question.
Yeah, correct. So that is the problem. If I am you, I don't invest in fixed deposits, but I will still invest. If I have to force to invest, I don't mind taking risk of what 5%, 10% or 20% of my total portfolio. I don't mind taking risk. Wherever I am part of some organizations, we have invested in Tamil Nadu Power Finance, a part of it. But we have a certain system in place. We will not invest more than 50% in private sector banks. We will invest more than 50% in public sector banks or companies. In that 50% also, even in public sector, we don't invest more than 10% in one particular institution. So we have certain parameters and do that. That's how we have to do that. See, somebody asked me that if I put my money into through that AMC, will that AMC not default? No, technically speaking, I should not tell her that it will not default. It can. If it is complete fraud like Garbi, we all thought that Garbi, that fraud will never, we never thought they will do this kind of a fraud. That happened. So, technically speaking is different, being pragmatic is different. Yes, sir. Anything else? Otherwise we can. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
How the market will be subsequent to elections?
Sir, market will be always be all the time, sir. And that's why the opportunity is there. See, people are thinking that the market will go up after this elections and all. To me, the market has gone up substantially in the recent past and consistently going up. It may not come down or may not crash, but then it needs some breather. So, maybe we will